We're taking you into the news right now with the Fox 45 news feed. It's 11 a.m. Two teenagers shot at the Inner Harbor after a large crowd gathers on Easter Sunday. What the mayor is now saying about curfews. And it is the last day for lawmakers in Annapolis to pass new bills. We'll take a closer look at the crime bills that are still awaiting a vote. And funding schools. After a heated back and forth, it appears lawmakers could tweak funding plans. We'll take a look at both sides of this debate. Fox 45 News Midday starts right now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Shannon Lilly. We begin with breaking news. We're following reports of a mass shooting in Kentucky. This is happening at a bank in downtown Louisville. Police at the scene are reporting multiple casualties, and in a post on Twitter, police are calling it an ongoing situation with an active aggressor. They're telling people to stay away from the area, and we're going to continue to follow this breaking news. We'll bring you the very latest on air and online at foxbaltimore.com. Topping local news, we are following two big stories. Today is the last day of the legislative session in Annapolis, and that means it's the last day for lawmakers to pass new laws addressing the crime crisis in Baltimore City. Just last night, another violent night in the city. Two teenagers were shot at the Inner Harbor during a rowdy gathering.
We are going to do everything in our power to make sure that we are protecting the lives of our young people.
Well, it is the second time in a week that there has been chaos in the Inner Harbor. Last Wednesday, hundreds of young people turned out, and some businesses closed early due to the crowds. And then last night, this second gathering, in response to a social media post, it encouraged people to pop out in the Inner Harbor last night. Now, there was heightened police presence in anticipation of the gathering, and yet still two teenagers were shot just steps from police. A 14 and 16-year-old were shot, one in the leg, the other in the back. Police say two people were arrested, including one who tried to get away on a dirt bike, but was later found with a loaded gun. Commissioner Harrison says officers are still working to determine whether that person was connected to the shooting. Simultaneously, though, officers tracked the other suspect who matched a witness description. Police say he was found with a loaded ghost gun. When it comes to addressing the crime, last night at the shooting scene, the mayor brought up a possible curfew for young people.
What we are not going to tolerate is this kind of behavior. We're not going to continue to see our young people be harmed in the way they are. We're going to do everything in our power, and that includes making sure that we get them off the streets ourselves if need be.
So that means for kids under the age of 14, they have to be off the streets by 9, unless they're with a parent. For kids up to 17 years old, they must be home by 10. This same curfew law has been in place for years, but the mayor says it will now once again be enforced. Fox 45 News has also pressed Baltimore Police Commissioner Michael Harrison about the city's summer crime plan, and this is what he had to say.
The plan is to have a robust police presence. The plan, as you heard the mayor, is to provide alternative entertainment and alternative options for young people to have something to do. While that is happening, we will have a robust police presence to do exactly what we did, to work as hard as we can to prevent these things from happening, and if and when they do, to move swiftly to apprehend those who are responsible, like we are witnessing tonight.
Well, last night, the police commissioner went on to praise the department for taking action quickly and apprehending the suspects without having incident, injury, and without having to use force, even though the suspects were armed. Fox 45 News will continue to follow the recent chaos in the Inner Harbor. You can find all of our past reporting on our website. That is foxbaltimore.com. Well, today is the last day of the legislative session in Annapolis, and that means it's the last day for lawmakers to pass new crime bills. Over the weekend, they passed several crime bills, but others dealing with violent repeat offenders seem to have stalled. The Violent Firearms Offender Act is backed by Republicans. It was first introduced under the Hogan administration, and if passed, it would make the use of a gun during a violent crime a felony. It's currently a misdemeanor. We spoke with political analyst John Deedy about the bill, and he believes it would take a lot before Democrats would consider moving forward with it.
It would take some dramatic changes of increases in crime and violence to probably get them to move in that direction.
Now, another bill stalling is Senate Bill 564, and it would make the theft of a handgun a felony, punishable of up to 5 years in prison. Deedy believes the chances of either one of these bills passing today is slim to none. Also topping your session 2023 coverage, lawmakers are going back and forth over education spending laid out in the Kerwin Education Plan. Last week, Mayor Brandon Scott proposed the city budget. It includes $79 million for Kerwin. The mayor calling it a gut punch. Well, Republicans have long criticized the Kerwin plan, saying it's just too expensive and doesn't guarantee better outcomes for students. Democrats have pushed back, but now it seems like lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are open to the idea of tweaking the plan.
I don't agree with the mayor of Baltimore very often, but in this case, I certainly do. You know, I've got counties on the Eastern Shore that have said for the entire time since Kerwin has been passed that they cannot afford it. So there's going to be one or two things that happen. Either the formulas change for funding or we see some type of Kerwin light.
Are you open to changing the funding formula for locals who are worried that they can't continue to tap their reserves moving forward?
I think we're always back every year, and I think we're always open to make sure if the facts and data are there, we will address it. You know, certainly we know on May 1st when the public emergency, when the emergency is expired, there will be a change in calculations, and Medicaid will have a redetermination, and we'll see what the roles look like with the changes in qualifications. But that's why we have our interim committees.
Meanwhile, lawmakers in the Senate are expected to vote on its version of a bill for legalized recreational marijuana today. The plan has preliminary approval, and the identical version of the bill passed the House on Saturday. Under the bill, adults 21 and older will be able to legally purchase recreational marijuana starting on July 1st. Stay with Fox 45 News. We will have a crew in Annapolis today for complete coverage of the last day of the legislative session up until the General Assembly adjourns at midnight. Sine Die. Download the Fox 45 mobile app and turn on notifications to make sure you do not miss any updates. Still ahead, are you getting bad service when you're out at a restaurant? Well, your clothes could be to blame. How a new study suggests how you dress could determine the service you get when you're at a restaurant. And speaking of dress codes, a group of bikini-clad baristas win their court case. The settlement this group is getting. And the Texas governor wants to overturn a jury's verdict. The controversial ask he's presenting to the parole board to try and free a convicted killer.
Hour-by-hour forecast numbers will continue to climb as we head into the next couple of hours. The average 64, so we're going to be in the temperatures that will be very close to average, even above average for some of us as we head toward the afternoon. Should top out right about 67 today, overnight drop into the 40s, and then into the mid-70s on Tuesday. We'll take a closer look at that forecast and when we can expect some more rain rolling in. That's coming up in a few.
Fox 45 News, winner of 17 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
Trending now, Odell Beckham Jr. is joining the Baltimore Ravens. The three-time Pro Bowler shared the news on his Instagram page. The deal is for 1 year and reportedly worth up to $18 million, with $15 million of that guaranteed. Taking a look now at your social stream, Texas Governor Greg Abbott says he's working to pardon a U.S. Army sergeant convicted in the deadly shooting of a Black Lives Matter protester. A jury deliberated for 17 hours before finding Daniel Perry guilty of murder on Friday. But now the Republican governor says he wants to overturn the jury's verdict. Perry faces life in prison when he's sentenced later this week, but Abbott is asking the state board of pardons and paroles to determine if a pardon should be granted. So, of course, so many different reactions online, people at odds over this. Dean says Greg Abbott is a good man. The pardon is justified. This user thinks just the opposite. This man murdered someone for no reason other than the fact he supported BLM. That was it. Now he will be pardoned. Unbelievable. Bikini-clad baristas in Washington state are scoring a $500,000 settlement after a years-long battle over dress code regulations. The Everett City Council of Everett voted to settle with the owner of the Hillbilly Hotties coffee stand. Employees at the coffee stand filed a legal complaint against city ordinances that required quick service employees to wear at least a tank top and shorts when serving customers. Well, the bikini baristas argued the ordinance violated their First Amendment rights, and a U.S. District Court judge found it unconstitutional. So definitely an interesting case here. Keith says, can you really call it a dress code if you're not dressed? And then look at this one here. The coffee there is actually legit. Well, that's good to know. Well, we are less than a month away from King Charles' coronation, and we're getting our first look at the Gold State coach he and the Queen Consort Camilla will ride in for the coronation procession. It'll take place after Charles and Camilla travel from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Abbey. The coach was last seen during the Platinum Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II in June of last year. The coach has been used at every coronation since William IV in 1831. So lots of excitement online. This user saying, coronation ready, and then looking forward to celebrating our king and queen, our working royals, and all volunteers across the country who selflessly give up their time to help others. But you know what? This person's not so excited. They say, yes, a modest ceremony that confers God-granted right to rule over millions of subjects. Well, still ahead, access to abortion in jeopardy after a judge pulls FDA approval of the abortion pill, how the Justice Department is fighting to give Americans access to health care. But first, kicked out by Republicans for calling for gun reforms, a Nashville Democrat could be reinstated today. We'll take you inside the controversial vote. Coming up at noon, it's Karamo. Then at 1, it's Sherry, followed by Hot Bench at 2. It's 11:13. You're watching Fox 45 News Midday. We're back with a live look over Camden Yards. The Orioles starting a 4-game series against the A's tonight. Stay with us. Meteorologist Justin Chambers will have your game day forecast. That's coming up in just about 5 minutes. Well, if you're heading to the game, share your photos and videos with us. Just scan the QR code on your screen, and it's going to take you to foxbaltimore.com/chime-in. That's where you can upload your pictures and videos, and it is all powered by Stackla. Making headlines, Nashville officials are set to vote today whether to reinstate one of the lawmakers that was expelled from his seat last week. Representative Justin Jones was ousted after taking part in a gun control protest on the Tennessee House floor. Nashville's Metro Council will meet to talk about the Democrats' empty seat and elect an interim until a special election to fill the vacancy can happen. Many council members have said they want to send Jones back to the State House. The Justice Department is appealing a federal judge's decision to suspend the FDA's approval of the abortion pill, mifepristone. The department issued the appeal just hours after the initial ruling. In a statement, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland vowed to fight the ruling and protect access to legal reproductive care. This after a judge in Texas ruled against the FDA's approval of the abortion pill, claiming the agency manipulated the drug approval process. The judge's decision does not take effect for 7 days, allowing the DOJ's appeal to play out. Ukrainian officials this weekend say Russian forces have killed at least 7 civilians. Among the latest victims was a 50-year-old man and his 11-year-old daughter, who both died after Russian shelling partially destroyed a residential building in Zaporizhia. The city was just one of 18 Ukrainian cities targeted by Russian forces over the weekend. It comes after more than 30 children reunited with their families in Ukraine. They are just a few of the thousands of children who Ukrainian officials say were illegally deported to Russian-occupied territories. Coming up on the Fox 45 News at 4, 2 teens shot as chaos erupts in the Inner Harbor. The new details we're learning about the incident and pressing the mayor for details on his new curfew plan. Then at 5, frustration with the continued youth violence in the city. Talking with the community leader about what can be done to keep kids safe and keep them out of trouble. And at 6, lawmakers rushing to pass crime bills, marijuana, education, and more before the deadline at midnight. The latest from Annapolis on the final day of the legislative session. You can get Fox 45 News in a flash through your Amazon Alexa or Echo. We now deliver your local headlines and your forecast in less than 2 minutes. If you have an Amazon device, just tell it to enable Fox 45 Baltimore. Well, it is certainly a nice start to your Monday here at home, and it's much better than the snow that meteorologist Justin Chambers shows us those in Nebraska are seeing. Justin.
Well, check this out. Not a snowman, but a hail man. That's actually made out of hail from our friends in Nebraska. That's what they saw there. And sometimes you get enough hail to be on the ground that looks like snow, and you can make the hail snowman there. That's what it looks like there in Nebraska. Nothing like that, even though we started off a little bit on the colder side for your Monday morning. Overall, numbers are going to continue to climb into the mid to upper 60s as we head toward the afternoon. So we're going to see some of those numbers above average for this time of year. Right about 67 for our high. So sunny and warm today. Temperatures definitely closer to average. Sun will be up until 7:39. So getting some nice daylight hours here. And checking those numbers across central Maryland in the mid to upper 60s for some. Still some lower 60s out toward the eastern shore and down near the bay right around Annapolis at 60 for your high this afternoon. Up and down the East Coast, keeping those numbers in the mid to upper 60s, even warmer. Almost 70 in Cumberland today with lower 50s down the ocean. So pollen forecast, those allergy levels still in the high category for trees. No issues with grass, weeds, or mold, but definitely a lot of the budding trees out there. You can feel that for sure. Heading out to the ballpark tonight for the O's cast. The A's are in town for a 4-game set. First pitch at 6:35 and temperatures in the 60s. Maybe just a light pullover if you're heading out to Camden Yards for tonight's game. And overall, next couple of nights are going to be great for baseball or any kind of things you want to be doing outside, firing up that grill as well as we stay dry. Taking a look at that 10-day forecast. After 60s today, mid-70s on Tuesday, low to mid-80s toward the end of the week. Next chance for showers doesn't really come until we get into the weekend, and it will be cooler by next week.
All right, Justin, thanks. Trending today, if you are sneaking candy from your kids' Easter baskets, we will not be surprised if you're looking for peanut butter eggs. According to Instacart, Reese's peanut butter eggs are the top-selling Easter candy. Kinder chocolate candy eggs came in second, followed by Starburst Easter jelly beans. The analysis also broke down popular Easter candies by state. Reese's peanut butter eggs took the top spot in 30 states, including right here in Maryland, as well as the entire West Coast. Lady T with Be More Lifestyle is here now. And Lady T, are you here? All right, we're going to move on here. Hopefully we'll hear from Lady T in a little bit. Still ahead, though, the Mega Millions jackpot is growing to near record highs. Coming up, just how much is up for grabs? And hitting the jackpot would make paying for gas a little bit easier. Just how much prices have jumped over the past week. A big night of all new television tonight. At 8, it's 911. Then at 9, it's Fantasy Island. Then stick around for your day's top headlines with Fox 45 News at 10 and the late edition at 11. It's Fox 45. It's 11:21. You're watching Fox 45 News Midday. All right, we want to get back to today's talking point. And according to Instacart, if you remember, Reese's peanut butter eggs are the top-selling Easter candy, including right here in Maryland. Be More Lifestyle's Lady T is here now. Hi, Lady T.
What's up, girl? We matching. We look good. Hey.
Oh, my goodness. It's like we planned this or something.
It's always great minds think alike with us. I don't know what it is.
So then, let's see if we think alike here.
Yeah.
Favorite Easter candy or just favorite candy?
Okay, so I'm always good with the Hershey's, cookies and cream, chocolate bar. I don't understand how Reese's keeps coming in first with this Easter candy. What is going on? I feel like it's rigged. I feel like...
Oh, but it's so good.
did. Reese's themselves has to be voting for themselves nonstop. Why do they keep winning? I feel like it should be Snickers. I'm a Snickers girl.
I'm a Snickers girl too, but do they really have Snickers Easter candy?
No, you know what? They have like the colored ones. Sometimes they come out with like silver or gold.
Okay.
They sometimes get a little creative with it.
I think I'm missing out. I think I'm behind. I haven't had Easter candy in a while.
I got you, sis. So, because you know what? Okay. I stole all my brother's Easter candy. Well, I didn't have to steal this year. This year they surrendered it willingly, so that was good. So we're okay. But yes.
So you get your fill of Easter candy, and I do hope you got some of your favorites.
I love the big bunnies.
Keep the Reese's.
That big chocolate milk chocolate bunny is the bomb. I love it so much.
All right, thanks, Lady T. Well, don't miss this, a recall to tell you about. IKEA is recalling a children's fishing game over a possible choking hazard. The ocean-themed fishing game uses 2 wooden fishing lines with string and magnets. But according to the recall, a metal piece within one of the toys can loosen and detach. This poses a choking risk to young children. 4 incident reports have been noted, none requiring medical attention, thankfully. Gas prices are starting this week a fair amount higher than last week. According to AAA, the average cost of a gallon of gas in the U.S. is now $3.60. That's 9 cents higher than last Monday's average. This recent price increase comes after the group of oil exporting countries called OPEC announced production cuts. Time now for your lunch break. If you play the lottery, you might want to grab a ticket before tomorrow night's Mega Millions drawing. The jackpot has grown to $414 million after Friday's drawings failed to produce any winners. So far, only 4 Mega Million jackpots were won this year. One of those was the game's second highest prize ever given, totaling over $1.3 billion. I would like to be the recipient of that. That's a nice prize. All right, that's all the time we have for Fox 45 News Midday. Thank you so much.
You're watching Fox 45 in Baltimore. Now live from TV Hill, this is Be More Lifestyle.
Hey, what's up, Baltimore? I'm Mark Clark, and this is Be More Lifestyle live from Studio B at Fox Baltimore. Lady T is here along with fitness expert Charles Chislett Harris. Good morning, team.
Hey.
Good morning. Let me tell you right now.
Monday.
New study suggests how you dress could determine the service you get when you're at a restaurant. University of Missouri study says it's because the staff may be sizing you up, trying to guess how well you might tip them based on how well you're dressed. The study revealed that servers had a much more positive reaction to those who dress well. I don't know. So let's say Chislett is at, the restaurant with his arms out, Lady T's. How's he going to get treated?
Listen, it depends on it really does depend on how you dress. That's how you're treated. Because let me tell you something. If I don't have my cleavage out, I don't get served very well. If the cleavage ain't showing, then they not knowing. It's so weird. It's such a weird thing. But yeah, they do really judge you based on how you look. Like they're like, oh, is she really gonna tip today? And then you never know. You never know how.
That was a nice rhyme you did. Charles, what about you, man? When you come in there with your physical workout versus the suit, do you get treated differently?
Well, you gotta look the part wherever you go. So however you look, that's what you reciprocate.
Okay, look at you. Okay.
He be coming in there with the muscles, though. You see your cousin with no sleeves.
I had to do some push-ups before I got on the air.
It's no sleeve Monday, apparently. I ain't know.
Okay, we want you to tell it. What do you think? Does how you dress influence the service you get? Vote on our website, foxbaltimore.com/vote. When you get to the website, make sure you click on our lifestyle tab. You can also vote on our Fox 45 News app. And at the end of the show, we'll see what everybody thinks. Now, trending now, folks online are calling it a foolproof way to figure out which sibling is their parent's favorite. Apparently, the favorite kid is the password child. The idea being parents use their favorite child's name or birthday as part of their password.
Listen.
That's interesting.
It is.
It's weird, though, because I've used all three of the girls, so I guess it balances out. Charles, what do you think?
You use all three? Not him telling his password, though.
I totally agree with you. It makes a big difference. It does.
So, Charles, do you have a favorite?
The oldest.
Oh, wait a minute. You're not supposed to say it. Lady T.
It's the lack of loyalty for me.
Lady T, I think you seem like you'd be the favorite.
So I will be honest. It's so funny because yes, my parents use my sister's password, put my sister's birthday for every single thing.
It's
and
okay.
I approached them about it. I said, y'all really do act like she's the favorite. I don't like that.
It's okay.
And so they were like, no. How do you know? And I said, well, her birthday is our password for the garage. And they were like, oh my goodness. They were like, okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not really their favorite. I was my mom's favorite. My dad is my sister's. My sister's my dad's favorite.
Well, Lady T, you are favorite.
Look, I better be.
You're our favorite.
I better be.
And Lady T, that's my password for all my money. Now, a lot of us would kill for more sleep, but a new study finds sleeping too much may increase your risk of stroke. The CDC study found those who sleep more than 9 hours a day are at an increased risk of stroke. The same can be said for those who sleep less than 5 hours a night. So what's the sweet spot? Most adults should try for 7 hours of sleep a night. Okay, you agree, trainer Chislett?
I don't know about this one. I think sleep is good, especially I haven't got 9 hours of sleep since I was a baby.
There you go.
So I feel like you need to get proper rest. Studies show when you rejuvenate and recover your body when you get proper rest. So you at least 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours of sleep.
Okay.
It's mandatory if you live a busy lifestyle.
See, 6 to 8. Lady T, I'm curious because you have 18 different jobs.
Yeah.
You have quite the busy schedule. How many hours of sleep do you get a night?
I know, I'm like a Caribbean mother, aren't I? I only get about 3 to 4 hours of sleep some nights, but that's just within recent weeks, I have to say. But honestly, I try to get 8 hours of sleep. Shout out to my doctor, Dr. Bowling. She always says 8 hours of sleep, what you need, Lady T. That's why you're not functioning like you should be. And I'm like, okay.
Now, Lady T, I know you get 3 hours of sleep. Now I'm talking about how many hours of sleep do you get when you're by yourself, though?
Oh, look. What are you talking about? You said wait by myself. You know what? It's also linked to people growing too, because my brothers, they sleep for hours and they are so tall. They're like skyrockets. I don't know if you saw them at the Healthy Expo, but they are like so tall because they keep sleeping. It's just so annoying.
It makes a difference.
Yeah, you gotta cut it out, y'all.
It's weird because I don't get enough sleep, and I keep saying I'm going to try to. I think the key though, and Chislett, you'll tell us, is you really need to, and leave that phone alone when you get in bed, right? Leave the phone alone.
Leave the phone alone. That's true, because my hotline be blinging at night, so I don't know.
All right, fine. Okay, we're going to see you, Charles, later in the show. Thanks so much, Lady T.
Okay,
Appreciate you. Still ahead. Buying a watch can be a pricey purchase. Coming up, the new free way to protect your investment. But first, a new solution to leg pain, and those aren't your mother's compression socks. Those are pretty trendy. The trendy makeover for the socks coming up.
You're watching Be More Lifestyle.
Do you spend a lot of your day standing only to end up with leg pain? Well, compression socks could make your life easier. Stacey Bell is here to explain why and share a money-saving deal.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki.
I'm going to tell you about something that you need, but you may not even realize you need it. Compression socks. I travel a lot, and so I keep these in all of my carry-on bags, so I have them at all times. They really are helpful for just maintain your overall health, because the heart is working so hard to pump blood throughout your body, and when it goes down to your feet, that's easy. But it's getting it to come back up because it's working against gravity. That is the challenge, and that's where these compression socks come in handy. Dr. Siegel, a doctor of course, created these, and so he just put a lot of extra care and thought into these. They're antimicrobial, they have silver ion, and they have this extra cushioning. I just got these, and I really like the purple, the lavender, because that's my favorite color. But the other thing is they're compression, but they also are really good stretchy, so it's not that compression that's painful. These are at such a great deal. You could buy one and give them to anybody in your family or even some of your friends. You're getting up to 20% off of Dr. Siegel's compression socks. He really did put a lot of thought into these, so you want to head over to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by Watchfinder & Company.
New research by Watchfinder reveals an alarming 34% of Americans have had their watch stolen, with the average value at $1,148. Former chief of the Miami Police Department, Don DeLuca, is launching the first ever free police-backed stolen watch register in a bid to stamp out the sale of stolen watches. He joins us now to tell us more. Don, how you doing?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
You're looking sharp as always, man. Tell us about how you got involved with watches and combating the issue of stolen watches.
Well, when I learned about this platform, it's a campaign that's being pushed out by Watchfinder that's really trying to solve a big problem in America. As you mentioned, 1/3 of Americans have had their watches stolen. Less than 80% are recovered. So how do you break that cycle? So this campaign helps, break that from the theft of a watch to the resale. There's something you can do in between now as an owner of a watch to help solve this problem.
And what does the research tell us about the issue of watch thefts in the U.S.?
Well, it's obviously on the rise, and there's a lot that goes unreported. People don't see, place a watch somewhere, don't look for it, and a month later say it's gone. So the problem is rising, and part of the reason is the value of watches has gone up over the last few years, and it's easy to steal a watch. It's a small piece of jewelry, you put it in your pocket, And the other side is there's a market for a watch, you know, on the resale. So what we're trying to do is break that cycle with this campaign and get the word out to citizens that you can register your watch, and that way the serial number's in place, forbid something ever happens to you.
How does this new stolen watch register actually work?
So what you would do, you would go to watchfinder.com, find a link that would send you to the registration, and you put in your information on the watch, specifically the serial number that would help find that watch or track that watch if it's ever stolen, lost, and somebody goes to move the watch into the, move the watch somewhere else.
I love it. So now, where can we go for more information?
Well, you would go to watchfinder.com, as I just mentioned. Find the link that'll bring you to the register, and please, you know, I ask anybody who has a watch that means something to them to register it. You can replace a watch, but you can't replace a watch that's been in your family for years. So we're trying to get the word out. The police are behind this, and we're looking for the support.
Don, thanks so much for this great information, okay?
Thank you.
Still ahead, adding years to your life, we'll chat with a fitness expert who can show us how. And nothing brings family together like food. Coming up, how to create fun dishes that are already allergy-friendly.
This is Be More Lifestyle.
He's been a fitness expert for decades, and he says no matter your age, it's important to stay active. Charles Chislett Harris joins us now. Welcome, Charles. How you doing?
Good morning, sir. Good to see you. Always a pleasure.
Always, Charles. So we're going to do some questions, and you're going to demonstrate for us, too. Okay, so what are the benefits of men's and women's health and wellness?
Well, one of the benefits of course, is healthy weight, more energy, better sleep. And the most important, I believe, right now is just alleviating stress out of your life. So exercising and having an outlet just to get your mind clear, get your body moving, and not just think about the issues of life. When you have an outlet where you just get your metabolism going, get those endorphins going, it's much better for your body.
And so how does the lack of physical fitness impact your mental health?
Well, lack of it is you just don't have an outlet. Stress affects the body. They say the number one killer is hypertension, but I say stress. Because a lot of stress, will increase your heart rate, your blood pressure. So you have issues when you don't have an outlet like walking, running, jogging, working out, even meditation and yoga. These things will help alleviate stress out the body and will help your mental health as well.
Well, you mentioned stress. So again, and alleviating stress, I see you have some equipment there, man, and not that complicated. Can you give us some examples of some exercises we can do to relieve stress?
Well, if you have the stability ball, this is a great tool to sit on. And even, working at home, working on your desk, working at your desk, you're working your core. So just sitting here like this all day for 8 hours, 9 hours, whatever your work schedule is, you can definitely work the core. I always have hand weights close by because adding lean muscle mass to your body increases your metabolism. And that way you can burn weight even when you're not working out because you're adding lean muscle mass to your body. So I would do bicep curls for the arms, and I'm still working my midsection as well. And even with the bands is one of the most underrated pieces of equipment at the gym. So I'm going to stand up and just show you some things you can do for the biceps. So basically you can do a bicep curl like this. Always keep soft knees because you're working your glutes, your core, hamstrings, and quads. And you can work the side of your arms. You can always get the delts in, work the front of the arms, and also do shoulder press, shoulder extensions like that. Also, you can work your legs. So you can have the band and just work the side of your legs like this. So it's a great way where you can really save time, work out at home. You don't have to go to the gym, drive to the gym, and make your time more efficient and just alleviate the stress out your life. Have time 3 times a week, weight training, 4 to 5 times of cardiovascular training, at least 20 minutes, will change your life tremendously.
So, Charles, you're not a spring chicken, but you look like a spring chicken. For those of us who are in the age group, first of all, can you tell us how old you are?
58.
What?
I look like I'm 30 and I feel like I'm 40.
And so what's the secret to those of us at a certain age? How do you maintain and how do we get there?
Weight training is one of the things that you can do just to really, I call it a fountain of youth, because you're putting lean muscle mass on your body. It burns fat even when you're not working out. So weight training has been my secret weapon for years. 3 times a week, lifting weights, even if you do it at home. If you don't have weights, you can use the bands. Any type of resistance training will help you look young, lean, like a machine.
Well, Charles, you are a machine. Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
That's Charles Chislett Harris. Okay, a beautiful start to your Easter Monday. Meteorologist Justin Chambers has a picture-perfect day, a sunrise in Indiana. Oh, let's check it out.
Gorgeous sunrise in Indiana. This is from Acton, Indiana. I'm not sure where that is, but it still looks very pretty with the sun up, and you can see a few of those high, thin clouds there. We always love getting your sunrise and sunset pics as well. You can chime in or you can post them on our website at foxbaltimore.com/chime in. Warmer afternoon ahead and temperatures that will be closer to average for this time of year. I know we had that below average day on Saturday, but Sunday right about 61, and today we'll keep those numbers climbing. A pleasant week ahead for sure. Check your hour-by-hour forecast, mid to upper 60s as we take you through the next few hours into the early afternoon. The average this time of year is 64, so pretty close to that number for some of us. A little cooler out toward the eastern shore, Chestertown down into Stevensville and Easton. 60 in Annapolis this afternoon with 67 your high in Baltimore City. Up and down the East Coast for New York and Philly, down through Baltimore and D.C., keeping those 60s around, even close to 70 in Cumberland this afternoon. Should be a great night for baseball at Camden Yards. 6:35 first pitch as the A's are in town. A 4-game series is what the O's will be playing before they head out on the road on Friday. And great week for baseball here in terms of weather or any outdoor activities. We're talking about a nice ridge of high pressure, keeping things high and dry and really not tracking any rain. A few of those high, thin clouds will roll through late Tuesday into Wednesday, but that's not going to do much. In fact, our temperatures are just going to keep climbing. Each day it gets a little bit warmer heading into the weekend, which is right around the corner as well. Always looking ahead toward the weekend. And here's that 10-day forecast for you. So after 60s today, we get to the mid 70s on Tuesday, then well above average, lower 80s Wednesday, mid 80s into Thursday and Friday. It will be a little bit cooler as we head toward the weekend with a chance of a couple of scattered showers here and there. But then next week, we will feel some cooler temperatures here in the area.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by Barilla.
It's no secret that food has the power to bring people together. However, a recent survey from Barilla found more than half of respondents have dietary restrictions that prohibit them from enjoying certain foods and ingredients. Here to share a delicious way to make a classic dish for all the dietary restrictions in your family is TV chef Alejandra Ramos. Alejandra, welcome. How are you?
Thank you so much, Mark. I'm doing great.
Okay, so now Alejandra, help me out. Is it carbonara?
Carbonara, or carbonara, if you want to get fancy with it.
Carbonara is a classic pasta dish, but I hear you have a twist on the recipe. Can you tell us more?
I do. Well, as you noted, Barilla did this survey that found that dietary restrictions can make it a little tricky for home cooks who are entertaining family and friends that they love, just because they're not exactly sure how to cook for all these different allergies. And so Barilla wanted everybody to be able to enjoy National Carbonara Day this year. Nobody gets excluded. So they created this recipe that they're calling an open carbonara. So it's basically opens carbonara up to so many more folks this year. And what it does is it really kind of taps into some of those main kind of problem points when it comes to dietary restrictions. It has so much to teach you, I think, in terms of ways that you can really get creative with ingredients to make sure that your friends and family can all love and enjoy the food along with you.
Awesome. So share some tips for our viewers who maybe haven't done it before. Let's go.
Absolutely. All right. So listen, pasta water is liquid gold. You do not want to throw that out. I think a lot of times we drain the pasta, we toss the water, and we lose that delicious, creamy, starchy water. What you do is take a soup ladle, measuring cup, grab a cup of it before you drain the pasta, and then you can use that to make rich, creamy sauces, and it's going to make the sauce stick to your pasta even better, so every bite is so flavorful. Also, keep an eye on the cook time on your iconic Barilla Blue box. It's going to tell you exactly how long to cook it, but I actually even say cook it a minute or two less and finish it off in the sauce so that the spaghetti absorbs that beautiful sauce, and it just, I mean, it's just so luscious, so rich. Your pasta is going to be absolutely incredible.
Where can we get more information on this?
All right, so Barilla.com is the place to go for that beautiful open carbonara recipe. It's also got the original, so if you don't need to cook with restrictions, you can grab that original. And if you have special needs, so maybe you just need something that doesn't have meat in it, but everything else is fine, you can plug those dietary restrictions in, and it's going to pop out the perfect recipe, different alternatives for you. It's just help you get more creative in the kitchen, help you bring more friends and family that you love around the table so you can all enjoy fantastic pasta together.
You really did that. I mean, some real tips that we could use. Appreciate that. And pasta water gold. I like that.
It is liquid gold, Mark.
Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Take care.
You too. Still ahead, are you getting bad service at a restaurant? Well, it could be your clothes that are the problem. How a new study says what you wear when we eat could influence how waiters treat us. A new study suggests how you dress could determine the service you get when you're at a restaurant. University of Missouri study says it's because the staff may be sizing you up, trying to guess how well you might tip them based on how well you're dressed. The study revealed that servers had a much more positive reaction to those who dressed well. And we wanted you to tell it, do you think how you dress influences the service you get? Most of you are saying yes, totally. Great show lined up for tomorrow. Get where we want to go without worrying about your car and if it will get you there, okay? Coming up on Monday, the new roadside assistant that can fit into your trunk.
Find out how to have your business featured on Be More Lifestyle. Email us at BeMoreLifestyleTV@FoxBaltimore.com.
And thank you for inviting us into your home. Make sure you follow Be More Lifestyle on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.